Okay, so ons is hier net na middagete. Wagyu. Hoekom maak almal so vas van die beeste? Wat is dit van hulle hierdie Wagyu Society ouens hier bymekaar getrek? Het jy nou hier wat slim is? Hy sê hy weet alles van die beeste af. So kom ons hoor 'n bietjie hoekom, waarom, wat jy return on investment, hoekom is dit 'n goeie plan om die goeders aan te hou? As ons net hier vinnig gou kyk, en net ietsie wys op hierdie poster. So daar's nou blykbaar die geheim rondom hom. Gaan oor die marbling wat binne in die vleis is. So ja, kom ons hoor hierso. Hallo.
Hello.
Hi, it's Andre.
Andre, it's Ryan.
Ryan. Now they're giving me the sautie, hey.
Ja, Engels.
Kom stap in die beeste toe, dat ons hier wegkom van die musiek af, dat ons bietjie. Okay, so tell me, why Wagyu? Why do you farm with Wagyu?
Why? It eats the same as any other cow,
Yeah.
but I'm going to get more for its beef. The beef is of a better quality. It's wanted worldwide. It's the fastest growing beef worldwide when it comes to demand.
Yeah.
And there'll always be that restaurant or those people that'll want to taste better beef.
Specifically for better.
And they will
So
pay extra.
in terms of better, that's because of the marbling.
Marbling and tenderness, and the fat is healthier, and the fat is a different texture, so it's got a lower melting point. It melts in your mouth. It doesn't leave your taste buds in your mouth with that fatty feeling afterwards, and it's full of flavor.
Okay, so that's basically why we get the premium on that, and why kom jy deur die ore betaal vir daai.
But you pay a lot more to feed it, so it's going to cost you.
Ja.
But at the end of the day, it's going to pay off.
Okay, so kom ons begin nou vir die boere hier by 'n punt. Kom ons sê ek wil nou Wagyu begin boer. Waar begin ek? Is hy, kom ons sê die areas, is hy oral aangepas in Suid-Afrika of is daar sekere areas wat
Well, it's relatively new in South Africa.
Ja.
And most of the farmers originally have been farming in the Western Cape and the Free State, but now it's moved to Natal, it's in the Northern Province, Limpopo. And our experiences, all our experiences we're learning from the Australians, and they farm with it in the Northern Territories and the Southern Territories, so the cold and hot territories of Australia it's farmed with.
No problems there. So show me how a cow looks here more or less. We'll just have a look here. Wel, ek kan nou nie sê is die mooiste beeste wat ek nou al ooit gesien het nie. Maar dit maak ook presies seker die saakie.
Yeah, we're definitely not selecting animals on their phenotype and their beauty, because the only thing that counts is the carcass when it's hanging at the butcher. That's what we're looking for.
And that's the most important part.
That's the important part.
And
it's the quality of the meat.
In terms of when you're looking at selecting a cow or buying a bull or something, the bull, do you use the traditional, how can ek sê, die tradisionele maatstawwe wat jy gebruik by gewone beeste om hulle te koop? Is dit maar dieselfde goed wat jy toepas om te kyk daarna?
Yes and no. So if you're buying a bull to do some crossbreeding, F1 breeding, you're not looking at his ability for the cows to produce milk and things like that. You're interested in what type of meat he will produce on a crossbred animal. So you're looking at his marbling ability and the fineness of his meat. So that's a characteristic you'll look at on your bull side when you're crossbreeding. When you're breeding with full bloods or purebred Wagyus, your female line, of course, there you want fertility, you want milk production, and you want growth. So it depends on the way if you're a stud breeder, or if you're an F1 or F2 carcass breeder, so that you'll look for different things there.
And but in terms of being an F1, F1 or F2 carcass breeder, dit is baie profitable om dit te doen. So die ouens kan Jenny net ingaan en sê hoor ek kan kommersieel Wagyu doen.
Yes, okay, it's a long feeding, so you're going to be feeding in the feedlot for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And you will only know once the animal is slaughtered if you're going to make money. So if it marbles only a 2, then you're not going to earn much more than you would have on a normal Angus, for instance. But you have spent more feeding it. So you've got to be very sure of the bull you use. You've got to use a bull that gives you a high probability of good marbling. But anything, as soon as this thing starts marbling 4 or higher, then you will be making your money back.
And how is that marbling determined in terms of the 1 to a 4, or what's the scales there?
There's so there are trained meat inspectors,
Yeah.
all right, that will then, who have gone through training, and they have got a chart where they can judge on the cut. So when they do a ribeye cut, they can judge on the chart if it marbles 1 through to a 9. But that's obviously subjective because it's a person's eye. In the future, there will be more electronical ultrasound scans and things like that will make it more accurate.
And in terms of, let's say, the cost of the animals, a cow and a calf, if I'm looking at what are they going for more or less on average now?
On average, you're going to be paying for a cow that's in production anything from 160 to 300,000. Depending on bloodlines and her history and ability to flush, because obviously at the moment everyone is flushing for embryos. It's the quicker way to establish your herd, and if you've got a cow that flushes well, she's obviously going to be more valuable to you and you'll be paying more to buy her.
And at the end of the day, in terms of, let's say, straight off I take it to, have you got a special facilities where they slaughter the Wagyus?
Yes, so there are, it's still obviously in the embryonic stage, this whole breed in South Africa, but there are already abattoirs and butcheries that are slaughtering in the Free State and down in the Western Cape. So you can produce weaners at the moment, and if you don't feel that you're experienced enough to feed them, because the feeding is different, you can sell your weaners onto a guy who is experienced in feeding them, and he will. So there are feedlots in the Free State.
So you basically sorted, the whole value chain is sorted.
It is there.
Same as
it is there, but
cars.
It's going to improve. At the moment, we do not produce enough carcasses for the demand. So there are feedlots that want to go into this whole Wagyu feeding, but they do not get enough carcasses. They cannot buy enough weaners. So for them, it's not at the moment.
So there's a big demand for
Wagyu. The demand will come.
Weaners.
So, yes.
And just the other thing, so in terms of base price, where is, am I looking at a carcass per kg for Wagyu?
Yeah, that you might have to edit. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, but that's in ballpark. It's not.
I've heard figures of. See, to the farmer, the people that are buying them. So if you're exporting to agents that are in the Middle East, they're willing to pay anything from 60 to about 90,000 for a well marbled carcass.
Oh, so there's definitely scope.
Yes.
And so the guys can make their calculations from there. So baie dankie. So okay, Karels, ek sal vir julle, is daar nog ietsie wat ons moet bysit? Nee, okay. So dit is ek gaan vir julle die ouens se kontakbesonderhede hier bysit. Baie interessante ras. Ek dink daar scope in die demand is daar. Almal wil meer fancy eet, en dat ons hierdie groeiende middelklas van ons dan nou bedien met wat hulle wil hê. Groete, ons praat later.